Welcome to Real Estate Radio Live, an informative and engaging hour discussing everything you need to know about the world of real estate. Your host, Joe Kuchera, provides you with insight and guidance on how to buy, sell, finance, and invest in real estate. He also offers real estate tax management strategies, new construction advice, home improvement tips, and much, much more. And now, to guide you around the world of real estate, here's your host and Real Estate Radio Live team leader, Joe Kuchera.
Welcome in. Good afternoon. Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. Thank you, those, for taking some time out today to listen to the show. A couple different ways you could listen and follow the show. Before we get started here today, I'm going to talk about the predictions for the mortgage and real estate market for 2018. In the next couple of weeks, everybody will be sick and tired of people's predictions, but I'm going to jump on that bandwagon and let you know the things that I think will be affecting the markets next year in 2018 on the mortgage and real estate side. Before we do that, just a reminder, we are with you 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, the only live 5-day-a-week real estate show in the entire Bay Area. I'm proud of that to continue to bring you, the consumer, education and information on a regular basis. You could tune in and listen to us on the radio at KDOW 1220 AM. You could also listen to us online. If you go to kdow.biz, click on the button that says Listen Live. You could listen to us anywhere in the world at this time of the day live. And you could also watch us streaming live on Facebook, which we're doing right now. We do every day as long as I am in the studio. We'll be streaming live on Facebook. Thank you for those on Facebook following, commenting. We get some great comments, suggestions, and conversation dialogue going on during the show. Lastly, be sure to download the podcast. That way you can watch the show, listen to the show. Anywhere at your convenience, you could go to iTunes and type in Real Estate Radio Live, or you could always go to our website, reradiolive.com. and get the podcast that way. All right. Lastly, before we get started, if you have any questions for me, any topics today, any topics at all, doesn't have to be pertinent to today's show, you could call 1-800-516-1220, 1-800-516-1220 if you want to get your calls on the air, or you could text those in at 408-838-9060. If you're listening to the show via podcast, the way to reach us is go to the website, reradiolive.com, or 408-838-9060. All right, predictions for 2018 as we really finish up 2017. On the mortgage and real estate side, it's been an interesting year as we wrap things up. Rates are still staying fairly low, like most of us know or are aware of. So as I say that, rates are still really good right now. The odds are rates are going to go up next year. Now, if you go back, that's what we were talking about this time last year. At the end of 2016, all of us we're talking about rates going up a little bit more than they did this year. Well, good for everybody. They stayed low. There's still 30-year money under 4%. It's outstanding. So get out there, and if you're not sure, and if there's something you really need to do on a mortgage review, no matter what type of property, get out there and take care of it now. I would encourage you to start the loan process now and get that refinance going, or if you're geared up for a purchase, get it going now, because the consensus is that the Fed is going to raise 3 or 4 times next year. Now, what does that mean? When the Fed comes out and raises, let's say she comes out and raises, or whoever the Fed may be this time next year, when they come out and raise the prime lending rate by 0.25%, that has a direct effect on credit cards, personal loans, adjustable loans like home equity lines of credit, those types of things. Totally different than the long-term mortgage, fixed mortgage. However, typically, it's a chain reaction. When the Fed raises the prime lending rate, there's a really good chance that trailing right after that, the 30-year mortgage will go up, because the indication is if they're raising the prime, that means the economy's doing better, they're adding more jobs, it looks like things are headed in a positive direction. All those things would trigger the Fed to raise the prime, and then typically what would follow would be the long-term mortgage rates coming up a little bit too. It happened a little bit last year or this year, but not much, I should say. I mean, they raised the prime a couple times this year. Didn't have a whole lot of effect. A little bit. It had some effect on the 30-year, not a lot. Here's the last thing I'll say about mortgage, not the last thing. One of the things I want to say about mortgages, it relates to the rates right now. A lot of people don't know this, but right now, 30-year jumbo. So jumbo typically in a high-cost area is $636,000 and higher. For those out there that have jumbo loans, last year jumbo rates were not good at all, and the year before, not good at all. This year, I think a lot of people are surprised to hear this because, you got your jumbo rate a while back and you're 4.25%, 4.5%, and you're feeling pretty good about that 30-year money at jumbo. Not the case, ladies and gentlemen. In many cases right now, jumbo financing is better than conforming. You can get all things being equal, you could get a better rate on a jumbo 30-year fix than you could get on a conforming 30-year fix right now. That's right. Absolutely. And if you're working with a lender that doesn't understand that, doesn't know that, give me a call and check in, because a lot of people will think, well, you have a conforming rate or high balance, you can't get a jumbo. That's not right. Well, I would argue with them and I would debate them. There's a way around that. So if you have an interest rate at, 4.25%, 4 3/8, which is still pretty good. If you have an interest rate at 4 3/8 or so or higher, I think you really, really should consider refinancing depending how long you're going to be in that house. And depending how long you've had your loan. Obviously, if you've had your loan for 10 or 15 years, and then not a good idea because you've paid so much on it. You don't want to start over again unless you go to a short amortized loan. And most people don't know this, but we could amortize a loan really for whatever you want. This is another thing a lot of lenders and a lot of loan officers don't know about. If you got a 30-year fix 5 or 6 years ago and you want to get a refinance and you don't want to go back to a 30-year fix, you don't have to. And then some people will say, no problem, how about a 15-year fix? Well, it's a little bit steep. I don't know if I like that 15-year fixed payment. Well, a lot of people in my business would say, sorry, that's all we could do is a 15 and a 30. Oh, wait a minute, there's a 20-year fixed out there. We could probably do that too. That's a myth. Let me tell you that. You could amortize just about any loan you want. If you had a 30-year fix, you've been in it for 5 years, and you want to go to a 20-year, if you want to go to an 18-year, you want to go to a 13-year, you want to go to a 10-year, we could do all that for you. You could do that. It's just knowing what you have to know what you're doing, and you have to have the right investors and understand it. But you could amortize a loan for pretty much whatever you want it for, if you could afford it. But you have to qualify for it. So that's kind of the mortgage review. So as far as mortgages go, first and foremost, if you think your rate's a little bit higher, if your rate's at 4 3/8 or higher, I'd encourage you to take a review and take a look at it and see if there's something you could do better, because there's better rates out there. If you're in your property and now you determine, you know what, I don't think I'm going to be here for another couple of years, potentially look at a shorter term fixed or even an interest only, and preserve your cash flow for a while if you're going to move and you have a lot of equity. So take a look at that before we roll out of 2017 and back into, 2018. Take a look at the mortgages and see what you could do there. As we go into 2018, what is the mortgage market going to look like? A couple different things. I do believe, especially the way the economy's going, the way the jobs are being added, there's some substantial, strong job numbers recently, and corporate profits are really good. We're in an economy that's growing at a pretty good pace, and so I don't know why they wouldn't raise at least a couple times next year. So Next year, expect interest rates to be, if I'm sitting here today having this conversation, the great news is this stuff's recorded and it goes in the archive. So you can never go back and say, I told you so, or listen to it, because either right or wrong, it's on tape. So I would say mortgage rates are going to be, as we move through 2018, let's just call it 8 to 12 months from where we are now. I really do think mortgage rates are going to be somewhere in the mid to high 4s. On the 30-year money. I think we're at 4.5 to 4.75 roughly, which puts us about a 0.5% or more to where we are today. I think that's realistic. So if someone would to say, Joe, what's the best and worst case scenario you think for next year for rates? I'd say best case scenario, rates are up about 0.25% or so, and we're hovering right around 4, maybe a little over 4%. That would be best case scenario. I do think they're coming up some. So I think in the low 4% range. Worst case, we could be snuggling up against 5%. We could bump up against 5%. We could get right below 5%. If they raise 4 or 5 times next year, it could have that kind of effect on interest rates. And most people have been doing this business long enough, 5% seems crazy to most of us now over the last 10 years. But historically speaking, 5% is still really low. All right, I'm going to take a break. We're going to come back. Stay with us. Those on Facebook, if you have any questions about predictions for 2018, give me a call. Check in. Give us a question on Facebook if you want. 1-800-516-1220. I'm going to continue the predictions and wrap mortgage up and get into real estate for 2018. 1-800-516-1220. This is Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. I'll be back with you to continue the live show in just a couple minutes.
For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com.
The world is changing, and so is real estate. It's changing in ways that give consumers more control with more affordable options. So what are your options? Hi, this is Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. I've been on the air educating and informing consumers for over 7 years now. I'm excited to announce that there is now a more efficient and cost-effective way to buy and sell real estate. Our team at Real Estate Radio Live is launching a new program designed to help buyers or sellers like you in real estate, lending, and title. That's right, we'll coordinate the entire transaction for you. So you benefit by working with the same team, saving time and saving money. We'll guarantee you'll not only be working with the most qualified, hand-picked experts in real estate, lending, and title, but you will also save a significant amount of money in all 3 services as well. Act now and benefit from changing the world of real estate. Call 408-838-9060. Go to RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com.
Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Again, your host for Real Estate Radio Live, Joe Kuchera.
Welcome back in. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live with you 5 days a week, Monday through Friday from 3 to 4 Pacific Daylight Time. Streaming live on Facebook. Follow us. There's a couple of questions I'll jump on and answer, and some good questions as always. Today the conversation or the topic is about predictions for 2018 on the mortgage and real estate side. The first segment I talked a little bit about mortgage, a quick background as we come out of, finish up 2017, and then what rates will look like in 2018 potentially, and some feedback for that. So make sure, again, you get your mortgage reviews. I talked about that last week. I did a show on mortgage and real estate reviews. For those that didn't catch the show, you don't know, but the idea is that spend some time, just like you do planning, spend some time taking a look at your mortgages, make sure you have the right mortgage, and you're doing the right things with your real estate. Set a plan. If you have to finance or buy more property next year, you're going to sell, what are those tax consequences like? Some people that are self-employed, I'm doing this myself, and if you plan to be making some purchases in the coming future, or you need to show more income, and I'm a living example, I'm doing that, So then I make adjustments on my taxes, on my withholding, so I understand what the income needs to be showed if you're getting prepared to make some purchases next year, or if you need to show more income for a while and you're self-employed. Be real careful with that. A lot of people take advantages of the taxes when you're self-employed and you're a small business owner, which is great. I would encourage you to do that. Take advantage of all you can. But where that comes back to haunt you is if you go to qualify for something and you go, oh, no, oh, shoot, that's right, I took those great deductions and my adjusted gross income is a little bit too low than what I need to qualify for this purchase this year, or maybe something else you're doing. So take a look at that. It's really important in planning for 2018. Be sure to do that. All right, so let me finish up on the mortgage side. Now let me talk a little bit about the mortgage industry. I covered the interest rates, and now let me talk a little bit about the mortgage industry. This was a really strong market in general for mortgages. The good companies had good years. As we're finishing up, New American Funding, who I'm with, had an incredible year. They actually grew revenue and grew units, which is outstanding for when you consider the low inventory in a lot of markets and the competition for that inventory. When you think about the thousands and thousands of people, both on the real estate side and the lending side, that are competing for a small pie of the business, when the inventory is so low, you have a lot more people competing for fewer deals, and it's tough. It gets tough out there. So on the mortgage side, when it comes to the industry, I think in 2018 and 2019, we are going to see more consolidation. We are going to see some buyouts. We're going to see some mergers, and I believe that. I really do. In 2018, are we going to have a flurry of them? I don't know if there's going to be a flurry, but keep your eyes and ears open for more consolidation in the mortgage industry. And when I get to the real estate side, and if I'll share my thoughts on that, I study this information and follow it 24 hours a day. I do. It doesn't mean all the predictions are correct. It doesn't mean they're all right. It doesn't mean people don't have their own opinions. What it means is, for any of us that are in an industry, and for me, for the radio show, and to provide this information for the consumers, I spend a lot of time researching every aspect of these industries. So I have an idea of what's going on out there and who the players are, what the competition is, what the markets are looking like. So I'm telling you, I'm convinced that 2018 and 2019, I'll take it out in about 24 months. I do believe, even though the markets will stay strong and you'll have some big players that are staying strong in the mortgage industry, I believe there's going to be some consolidation. What do I mean by that? I think there's too many loan officers, too many mortgage companies out there fighting for too few deals. And some are not going to be able to survive. So the choice for some mortgage companies that are smaller, and even some that are bigger, because they can't adjust quick enough, will be to either consolidate, merge, be bought out, be part of a buyout. There's a number of different ways that could happen. I also believe that the mortgage companies that have not invested a fair amount of money in technology and marketing to stay in tune and lockstep with what the consumer's needs are, you're going to fall behind. It's already tough enough. In our industries, you've heard me say this before, our two industries, when I say that, and I'll throw title and escrow in there too, real estate lending and title and escrow, we are frigging dinosaurs when it comes to technology. We are dinosaurs. And a lot of it's compliance and regulation on our side and the title side, because there's so much government involved with what we do and how we do it. But it is going to hurt us eventually. So in 2018, there's going to be some consolidation in the mortgage business. And I do think that if you're not a mortgage company that's not investing a fair amount of money in technology and how to stay tuned with the new buyers, the millennial buyers, and what they want, what they look for, You're going to lose market share. And in a market where it's too low to begin with, you can't afford to lose market share. Same on the real estate side. I'll jump into that in just a second and start talking about that. If you're in a market right now, ladies and gentlemen, that there's a tiny market share to begin with, and you're fighting for that market share and you're scraping and fighting for it, you had better be the best you can. You had better have the best technology you can. You'd better communicate your message the best you can. So my prediction for 2018 and enrolling into 2019 on the mortgage side, more consolidation. I think there's going to be some companies that are going to fall in hard times because they're just not going to be able to react quick enough. And on top of that, if rates go up 0.5% in the next 30 days, do you know what happens when rates go up that quickly? You watch and see what happens. No one wants to see this, but this is a reality, and I've been in this industry a long time. Rates could go up 0.5%, and you could see companies that weren't prepared or have overhead that they're not prepared to balance, and all of a sudden pipelines. If you could imagine this, and I've seen this happen before, it's a little dramatic, but it's true. If you're a big company and you have logistics and support for, let's just call it 2,000 loans a day, right? And all of a sudden rates go up by 0.5% and the market changes and some things change and you have market share shrink, your business could drop 35 to 40% in less than 30 days. If your business drops 35 to 40% in 30 to 60 days, that could have an incredible impact on your bottom line quickly. And sometimes you won't be able to recover, depending on what kind of reserves you have. So, mortgage side, as we finish up this segment, the next two segments, I want to get into the predictions for 2018 for the real estate specifically. As I finish up mortgage, expect interest rates to go up. Expect some consolidation in the industry. You're going to see some big players buy out some smaller players. You're going to see a couple of bigger players get involved with that. And the last part of the mortgage side is if you're not investing in technology and how to better communicate, use social media to communicate with your customers, you're going to lose market share as well. All right, I'm going to take another break. I'm going to come back, and we're going to jump into predictions for the real estate specific side for 2018. If you have any questions, 1-800-516-1220. I'll answer those questions on Facebook during the break. 1-800-516-1220. This is Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. I'll be back to continue in just a couple minutes.
For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com.
Sadly, tragedies are part of our life. When faced with these tragedies, it's important that we rally together as a community to help those in need. Hi, this is Joe Kuchera, host of Real Estate Radio Live. As a way for our team here at Real Estate Radio Live to give back to our friends and neighbors affected by the tragic North Bay fires, we'll donate a percentage of every loan or every real estate transaction closed between October and December 2017 directly to the fire victims. Considering the average loan amount and real estate transaction amount, we are hoping to donate about $2,500 per transaction. So if you or anyone else you know is in the market to buy or sell, finance a purchase, or simply need a refinance, remember, we'll donate a percentage of our team's commission for each and every transaction. 100% of all the donations will go directly to the fire victims. For more information, please contact us at 408-838-9060 or go to RERadiolive.com.
Real estate broker Cal DRE 413-1002, NMLS 3233.
Hi, this is Joe Kuchera of Real Estate Radio Live. Thanks for tuning into our podcast. We are your go-to resource for all aspects of real estate, including buying, selling, refinancing, building, and legal and tax advice, and much more. You can subscribe to Real Estate Radio Live podcast on iTunes and Stitcher to listen to an engaging discussion about anything and everything real estate. So make sure you get our app, RE Radio Live, in the iTunes store to follow the show. Hi, this is Joe Kuchera, host of Real Estate Radio Live and Bay Area Mortgage Planner. In addition to being your home financing expert, please remember you could always contact me for other trusted advisors such as realtors, financial planners, and CPAs. Please feel free to contact me at 408-838-9060. That's 408-838-9060, or email joe at reradiolive.com, or visit my website at reradiolive.com for more details.
Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit reradiolive.com. That's reradiolive.com. Again, your host for Real Estate Radio Live, Joe Kuchera.
Welcome back in. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live, streaming live on Facebook. You can follow us online, kdow.biz. Be sure to download the podcast. Go to iTunes, type in Real Estate Radio Live, or go to our website, RE Radio Live. Download the podcast. Today I'm talking about predictions for 2018, and we're going to talk now specifically about the predictions on the real estate side. The first two segments I covered the mortgage side, what to expect in 2018. So let's talk about real estate. Oh boy, there's all kinds of things. So specific to the Bay Area, because there's two parts of real estate here. Nationally, we're talking, that's one conversation, but I'll try to keep it more specific to the Bay Area because the majority of our listeners are focused on the Bay Area. So right now, as most of you know, if you're in this business, extremely low inventory. The question is that going to change next year? I think it will a little bit. I don't think it's going to be astronomical. I do think we're going to see a pickup in inventory here next year a little bit. Are we going to see a landslide where we see a bunch of houses go on the market? No, we're not going to. I just don't see that. And some people might say, well, Joe, what about the mortgage interest issue? If they pass this bill and people are only able to deduct up to a $500,000 mortgage, do you think that's going to change? And I've got that question a lot in the last couple of weeks. I think it will some, but it's not going to have a major impact on people that have strong buying power here in the Bay Area. So we live in a very unique area, and a lot of people will say that. But then what you want is, after you say that, you should be able to articulate a bit of what's that mean. What do you mean unique area, Joe? Well, we live in an area that's landlocked, so there's not a whole lot of space to build, and the only place you can go is up. So you'll see growth in downtown San Jose. You will see growth in Santa Clara right around Levi Stadium because there's still area to grow there. There's a lot of entitlements that have taken place, so there's a lot of development that's going to be taking place in and around Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. And then the other area you have growth potential is downtown San Jose. That's it. I mean, unless you go out further, there's a little more room in Milpitas and Fremont, a little more, not much. But if you're talking about the South Bay and specific to this area, you have landlocked. So that's the first factor of why this is a unique area. The other factor, it's an extremely strong job market. It's an appealing place for venture capital to be. I want to say, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I think it's 60% of all venture capital comes from Silicon Valley, from companies out of Silicon Valley in the world. I could be wrong about that. I think it's pretty close. You have an incredible job market attracting super talented people that are coming from all over the place to work because there's opportunities here. There's opportunities. So that's the other part that makes it unique. What else does it? Well, geographically, it's an incredible area. You have incredible weather. You're close to San Francisco, Napa, Tahoe, Yosemite, Monterey, Carmel. So if you're living here in the Bay Area, you are within 4 hours of some of the most beautiful places in the world in terms of Tahoe, right? You're an hour from San Francisco. You're an hour from Monterey and Carmel. Yosemite, a couple hours away. Incredible location. People want to be here. People want to live here for a number of those different reasons. The other reason I think that we're going to keep inventory low is you have people that are sitting on gold mines, and I'm not sure what's going to leverage them or wedge them out of their house eventually. It's going to be really difficult. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of people here in the Bay Area that have been sitting on property for years. All right? And they are looking at their financials at the end of the year and each month. And if you have rental properties, and you have a handful of rental properties, and you're collecting $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month on a handful of rental properties, and you're seeing that kind of cash flow, why in the world would you sell those properties? Unless you needed to. I'm not saying you wouldn't. My point here is that you have people over the last several decades that have accumulated property in this area. And then, on top of that, they've been in their primary residence for maybe 10, 15, 20 years and have seen this incredible equity growth there. They don't want to move and pay capital gains. If they do move, the question is, oh my God, if I sell my house for $1.5 million, what does $2 million buy me? And so on and so forth. So you're going to have this stagnancy. You're going to have people still really hesitant to make a move. And I think because of those factors, we're going to continue to see somewhat low inventory in the area. But I do think we're going to have a little bit more than we saw. I bet you average-wise, if this time next year, when I'm doing the show, I would bet that percentage-wise, there are more homes on the market that come on the market in 2018 than there were in 2017. Somebody might be in bold prediction, Joe. You can't get much worse. I know that's what a lot of people are thinking, especially those real estate agents, the real estate people that are experts and the pros that are in this market. They know. So overall, I think you're going to see that, maybe a little pickup in inventory. The other piece of this is going to be remodeling and adding on. I think we're going to see a huge surge. I really do. You have, because of the rise in equity, because of the huge gain in equity most of us had in the Bay Area, ladies and gentlemen, most people are sitting now on more and more equity. And I'll give you some examples. Let's say you were a person 3, 4, 5 years ago, right? And your house was worth $1 million and you owed $700,000 on it. Let's just say, right? You're not that comfortable taking money out on that home because, your loan to value's not all that great. It's good. It's not, but you have 30% there and you want to leave a little room for excess and be careful and market fluctuations, so you don't want to mess with it. But now, 4 years ago, if that home was worth $1 million and it's worth 1.3 or 1.4 now and you owe $700 on it, guess what? Guess what most of those people are going to start thinking about now? I'll tell you what we're going to see a big surge in next year, and we already started seeing it this year, but even more next year. People taking money out with equity lines, cashing out, leveraging their equity in their home to add on, to expand, to do all kinds of things with their property, because here's what they're thinking. I have some breathing room. I have some equity. I'm not moving anywhere. I'm going to finally do that kitchen. I'm going to finally add that 1,000 square feet. I'll tell you the other thing in San Jose. I am a homeowner in Willow Glen in San Jose. I'll tell you what I would be looking at if you have increased equity in your home. If you fall into that category to put a in-law unit, a permitted in-law unit on your property, I'd do that. I tell you, if you're listening to this show out there and you're in that ballpark, and I want to say in the city of San Jose, I think you have to have a 5,500 or 6,000 square foot lot minimum, I think. You're allowed to put a detached permitted unit on your property, anywhere from 400 to 800 square feet, depending on the size of your lot. Obviously, the 800 would depend. You'd have to have a bigger lot. Permitted. The city's allowing you to do this. They're going to work with you to do this. I think people should take advantage of this. And one of the things I think that we'll see more and more of, and you would say, Joe, why? Well, a couple of reasons. One, it's going to increase the value of your home ultimately down the road. Two, you could use it for children, aging parents, extra rental income. We have a housing shortage, so I do think we're going to see more and more of that. And I would encourage people to do that. If it makes sense to you financially, if you have a big enough lot and aesthetically it looks good and you can get away with it and you want to do it, add that extra unit to your property. In my opinion, it's a win-win. And the reason why is you're going to add value to your property. It's a permitted unit, so that square footage is going to be taking consideration in your value. 2, you could use it as a rental unit and collect more revenue or resources, right? And 3, you could potentially use it for aging parents or children and different factors that way. And the city is encouraging it right now. And I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years from now, the city may not encourage it. The city's encouraging you to do that. So I think we're going to see more and more of that. People taking advantage of that equity, putting it back into their home. But I also think there's going to be a bigger surge in people. A lot of people, more and more people are going to be investing in real estate outside of California, in syndications, in multi-unit, in other areas where you could buy a place for $40,000, $50,000, believe it or not, put 20% down, have cash flow. I think we're going to see a big surge with people, more and more people interested in buying property outside of California so they could put their hands on property. You could have that appreciating asset, but at the same time, the cash flow potentially over the next 10 or 15 years, I do think we're going to see more and more of that. And I believe there is going to be. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take another break. It's the last break. I'm going to come back and I'm going to finish up talking about some of the other predictions for the real estate. Some may or may not believe the next things that are coming up in the following segment. But I'll finish my predictions on the real estate 2018. What are we going to be looking at in 2018? 1-800-516-1220. This is Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. I'll be back with you to finish up in just a couple minutes.
For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com.
The world is changing, and so is real estate. It's changing in ways that give consumers more control with more affordable options. So what are your options? Hi, this is Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. I've been on the air educating and informing consumers for over 7 years now. I'm excited to announce that there is now a more efficient and cost-effective way to buy and sell real estate. Our team at Real Estate Radio Live is launching a new program designed to help buyers or sellers like you in real estate, lending, and title. That's right, we'll coordinate the entire transaction for you. So you benefit by working with the same team, saving time and saving money. We'll guarantee you'll not only be working with the most qualified, hand-picked experts in real estate, lending, and title, but you will also save a significant amount of money in all 3 services as well. Act now and benefit from changing the world of real estate. Call 408-838-9060. Go to RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com.
Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Again, your host for Real Estate Radio Live, Joe Kuchera.
Welcome back in. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live as we wind down the show to predictions for 2018. And specifically now I'm addressing the real estate industry. So here are things that I am totally convinced of, and I'll be interested to see how things shape up in the next 12 months in 2018. Real estate industry, same as the mortgage in some sense, is this. There are fewer and fewer deals to go around with more and more people in this industry. As it is right now, you've heard me say this before, approximately 10% of the real estate agents do 90% of the business. 10% do approximately 90% of the business. That's a national. That, market to market, that's different. But I'm saying from a national number. Not too far off in most markets, though. What does that mean? What it means, similar to the mortgage industry, there's going to be consolidation in 2018. There is. There just is going to be. You have, just like the mortgage industry, the real estate industry has outdated legacy systems and programs and overhead and liabilities that are not going to be able to sustain long term unless you're adjusting your business model. Most of you, if you haven't heard this name, if you're in the industry, you've heard it, but if you haven't heard it as a consumer or in the industry, get used to this name because you're going to hear it an awful lot next year, and it is Compass. Compass, as a company, has just raised first $100 million and then recently $450 million. They're a real estate firm. They vow to be taking 20% market share in 7 or 8 of the top cities nationally over the next 3 years. And some of you may be saying, that's not going to happen. But let me tell you something. With that kind of money, you can make a lot of stuff happen. And here's why it is going to happen. And here's why they're going to take market shares, because they have money to spend, and they will buy companies, they will buy franchises, they will buy branches, they will buy and they will overpay to get their numbers where they want them to be. See, a traditional real estate company doesn't have that kind of war chest to be going around buying inventory. Actually, not inventory in houses, inventory in people. They don't have that money. But these people are going to, Compass, mark my word, that company is going to overpay because they have to for companies. Let's talk about specific to the Bay Area. You mark my word, there is going to be consolidation in the real estate industry next year and going in the next couple of years. Keep an ear and eye out for Compass. Compass will be coming to the Bay Area soon. Compass, I guarantee you they're in conversations, if not now, they will be in the first quarter, with several real estate companies, prominent name real estate companies here in the Bay Area, to buy them and to merge with them. And you know why? Here's the reason. A lot of these real estate companies are doing fine, right? Holding their own. But when you look at your legacy overhead liabilities and systems and processes, and Compass is going to bring a whole new element of technology internally to the back-end system of the real estate business, not for the consumer, but for the real estate business. When you compile that with the fact that they have unlimited funds, they are going to overpay for real estate companies and agents. They're going to give people signing bonuses that they haven't seen before. I guarantee you. It's going to happen. Why? How do I know that? I don't know that for sure, but I feel strongly about it because this is their mission. They are beholden to shareholders now. They are beholden to investors. They are telling their investors that we will have 20% of the top 7 or 8 markets in the United States. Well, guess what one of those markets are? Silicon Valley, San Francisco Bay Area. All right, up and down. Take it all the way from San Francisco down here to the South Bay. The greater Bay Area, let's call it. Can you imagine? Some people are looking at the numbers going, Joe, that's not going to happen. They're not going to own 20%. I don't know. I'll tell you what, an awful lot of things could happen when you have an unlimited checkbook. Seriously. There's real estate companies out here that are fighting for market share, right? And they can't get their market share. And they don't have the money to invest and reinvest. And they don't have the money to go pay bonus checks. I guarantee you, keep an eye out. Listen to it. You're going to hear that company a lot. It's Compass. And they are going to push hard into some of these biggest markets because they have to satisfy the investors of what their plan is over the next couple of years. So keep an eye on that. I also think with his consolidation, the same as the mortgage industry, those real estate companies that are not investing in technology and marketing and social media to better connect with the millennials and the future are going to lose ground, and it's in a tough market already. It's in a tough market already. And it's going to happen. There's just not enough deals to go around, and there's a lot of money out there pouring in. You have 2 major pushes right now before I finish the show. You have hundreds of millions of dollars going into disrupting the real estate and lending market. Okay, you have that side. And then you have some big heavyweights coming into this market, in this industry, and they have the money to overpay. And because of those reasons, we're going to see consolidation in the real estate industry next year. We're probably going to see more companies be bought out, mergers, and different transactions like that in 2018. I really believe it. All right, we're out of time. I hope you enjoyed the show. This is Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. Remember, if you want more information, you could always go to reradiolive.com. That's reradiolive.com. During the week, if you're listening to us on podcast, you can reach me at 408-838-9060. This is Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. Thanks again for tuning in this afternoon. Be sure to follow us Monday through Friday. I'll be back with you tomorrow. Take care and have a great afternoon.
You've been listening to Real Estate Radio Live. For more information on today's program, visit reradiolive.com. That's reradiolive.com. Tune in, log in, download our podcast. Discover more at reradiolive.com. reradiolive.com.